it's your girl Alani here. Welcome back to 3 Degrees of Love Divination. So, happy Thursday. It's Thursday, September the 4th, 2025. And as if you haven't seen my previous videos that I've done recently, talking about healthy anger and especially from a high frequency, high vibrational standpoint, as well as my last video that I did and posted was talking about a formula, if you will, for unconditional love. Because of course, with my channel being 3 Degrees of Love Divination, I am a registered social worker here in Canada. I did burn out in my field. I am a mental health advocate, a neurodivergent, and a Hayoka empath. And I found my way to tarot on my healing journey, and how beneficial combining therapy with tarot has been, even for me, on my own healing journey, and expanding my spirituality and all of that fun stuff. And it's been quite a healing journey, I would say. Even for me personally, and combining that with, of course, regular therapy sessions. Funny enough, Thursdays tend to be my therapy days. Not every Thursday, but regular enough, and I am grateful to have that a part of my journey, because I know that given the fact that we are in a global mental health crisis, given everything that has transpired over the course of several years, from 2020 with the global pandemic, and the economy, and just so many things in general. It's like the collective is going through this sort of massive shift, wake up call, if you will, and just the imbalance that all of it has, even throughout our environment. Hi, welcome. Satish, thank you for being here. Hello. Welcome. Thank you for joining me. So of course, talking about a formula for, I'm good, thank you. How are you? Thank you for asking. We're talking about unconditional love, and the idea of raising the frequency of the collective, and me just sort of talking about what my journey has been so far, and of course, feel free to jump in and share your thoughts too. So of course, if you're joining me in chat today, or even if you're watching this on playback, I hope that you will like, share, and subscribe. And of course, comment down below what you think. I'm in Toronto. How about you? Toronto, Canada is where I am currently at. And so, yeah, if you haven't seen my last video, I was talking about a formula that sort of came to me in regards to, raising the frequency and the vibration of, the collective, and even for ourselves. And, one of them being the idea of humility, and sort of, that being number one, right? So humility plus equals unconditional love. But even as I started that, and I shared that in my last video, one of the things that I also recognized is that even as I was reflecting about it for even today, was the idea that revisiting the fact that there may be an additional word to the equation. But before I get into that, and I will be pulling some cards and doing a collective reading as well, even to touch on this. But one of the things, and I had mentioned, is just even to define the word humility and what that looks like, because you know, it whether or not you have, words can be very subjective, and especially this was a conversation that I even had previously on my other channel. If you haven't checked that out, which is The Spiritual Void from A to Z. And in there, we were talking about the involvement of, or the evolving of words. And, over the course of our lifetime, the linguistics, and especially the English language, and how very much of an oxymoron it can be in and of itself, especially when words are from the English language, in the English language, don't necessarily always originate from English, right? They're usually root words that come from Latin, from various different languages before it filters into English. But anyway, that aside, looking at the formula for unconditional love, and as I said, humility, and recognizing that what the word humility really means. And so what I sort of just Googled for myself to share with you today is the definition of humility. So what came up is the quality of having a modest view of one's own importance, being free from pride or arrogance, and recognizing one's own limitations and imperfections. So to me, that really speaks to, really, it's like the introspective understanding of what it means to be a human being. And if you've heard me speak about this before, it's what I've come to realize and understanding, being in this carnation, is that we are spirit first, and then we're human second. So when we're recognizing that, and we're understanding ourselves fully, that's, to me, is what embracing humility is about. Really taking heed to understanding ourselves, our strengths, our weaknesses, our pros and cons, and all of that that essentially makes us who we are, right? And of course, when we are all coming from various backgrounds. Hi, well, welcome. Thank you for joining today, Mackenzie. It's very nice to have you here. And just again, when it comes to why I really advocate for therapy and mental health, well, other than, of course, that being, what my profession was, still is, and still hope to carry forward. But I did burn myself out because I was, resonating at a high frequency, always sort of leading with my heart space. It really made, for the opportunity to be taken advantage of and find myself overgiving. And it didn't help that I picked a profession where it's all about service to your community and to others, right? And of course, I still hold all those things near and dear. But, it took time for me to have to really dive deep into understanding my shadows and all of that stuff, to really get in touch with fully understanding who I was as a human being. Like I said, spirit first, human second. And all of that pertained on my journey and making sense out of all of that. Anyways, so that would be what to me humility is about, is recognizing that we're no greater, no less than that of another, and having that sort of equal understanding of who we are in relation to someone else, right? And we are all deserving of love because we are all love. We are all created in love, right? So, now the second part to this sort of equation that I found that came to mind was the word kindness. And then really diving into what that really means. So again, by definition, what I found was kindness is the quality of being generous, considerate, and friendly towards others, often involving acts of empathy, compassion, and genuine concern for their well-being. However, without expecting any reward. It is a behavior and a character trait that includes selfless actions, helpfulness, and a commitment to treating people with respect and care. So that's what I realize, when it comes to operating from your heart space, leading with love, an intention of that is essentially what I would say is the formula to reaching the higher frequencies of existence, which ultimately is unconditional love, right? Because that's when we come from source is the unconditional love, right? And we all come from that. So we're all fragments of this one whole, mirrored reflections, if you will, that understanding of karmic justice and and what the laws of karma is all about. So on that note, the one thing, the other sort of piece of the equation, now this is a word that I didn't actually look up for a definition, but of course you can put your own understanding on it, research it for yourself. But the one that when I was sort of reflecting on this topic again for today was the word acceptance and what that actually means. So having, to me, the aspect of humility is sort of that internal recognition of who we are as a human being, right? And where we fall on in balance with that of another. And then the outward sort of part of that equation, which to me is kindness, is how we treat other people. How do we now, knowing who we are, how do we recognize and hold space for people outside of us, the external, right? So other beings that we come into contact with. And then the idea of acceptance. Well, we're accepting, as we are accepting who we are as an individual being in carnated into human form, we are then recognizing and accepting all others with the same respect and consideration. Knowing that, yes, we're going to have our differences and we're not always going to agree, but that's okay. Because that's the whole, right? Like, even if you've seen my a previous video I did, maybe a couple or 3 videos ago, I talked about, understanding neurodivergence and neurotypical, right? And how neurotypical people have an easier time in a world that is created for neurotypical people, and how much more difficult it can be for those who are neurodivergent to, what's the word I'm looking for, to fit the mold, if you will, because they don't fit a mold. And the way that our brains sort of function is very different from the norm. So anyways, so on that note, I have switched over some decks, and I wanted to pull a few. So I'm going to pull a card from this deck, which is called, what's the word? What's it called? Oh, I have the book here anyways. No. Give me a second here. Okay. The deck of itself actually is called Messages from the Heart of the Divine, an oracle deck. So here's the guidebook for this deck, and it's by Ashley River Bryant. And I've used this deck before on my channel. I absolutely love this deck, and I just felt like it was a time for me to bring it out again, so I did. And of course, you can get this this deck on Amazon, and I'll have a link for it in the description box after this live. But in the meantime, in the description box for any of my videos, you will find links to other resources that I have found useful. So whether that be other people that I absolutely admire and have found comfort in engaging with, and as well as links to any therapeutic mental health resources, should you require them. I always will say that as much as I have found combining tarot with therapy, when you're really struggling with your mental health, please make sure to always seek out professional help. And that's also why I have links as minimal as they... How could I possibly look like Hillary Clinton? I am a Black woman. So, anyhow, yeah, as well, praying is good too. But, without action, prayer just, okay, well, we're not going to do that. So we're just gonna move that. Okay. Well, that's great, but you know what? Seeing color, we all have our different shades of melanin. So also needing to recognize that and honor that as well. Well, 60% of the population is colorblind, so to some degree. Anyways, let's see what card we have today for the collective. Okay. Spirit, angels, what do we have for the collective today? Okay, so 2 cards fell out. 1. Okay. So we have card number 1 that fell out. We have sensual embodiment. Card 13 from this deck. And we have 31, which is held by the Divine Mother, receive. So, of course, this is all about love and understanding ourselves from that mentality that we are all love, right? So I'm going to read these 2 cards here. Where did I put the book? Okay. Okay, so first off from this, let's see, we have, I'll read the sensual embodiment first. And I really love the messages that come out in these cards here. So also giving you it also gives you a ritual to even partake in, should you choose. Hi, well, welcome back. Okay, so sensual embodiment. Being a soul living out a human experience here on earth is all about experiencing life through the body. You, child of the earth, are designed to move throughout this beautiful life embodied in your senses. For sensual delight is the most exciting part of truly living. It's experiencing pleasure through the body calls the soul into the body as a pathway to radical healing. Have you been spending too much time in your head, overstimulated, stressed, or focused on tasks that you've disconnected from the juicy pleasure of being in your body? This card is calling you to get out of your head and into your body to weave more pleasure into your life. For pleasure is your birthright. But pleasure is a practice, a way of being that requires presence and connection to the senses. Sensuality is the gift that can realign you with the wisdom, pleasure, and simple joys of being embodied. Pleasure is the fuel to create the new earth, returning divine bliss to this planet. Stop and smell the roses, listen to the birds sing, feel the warmth of another's skin, taste a sun-ripened berry, and watch the colors of the day shift and tell the story of time. Allow the sensual pleasure and beauty of this human experience to inspire a deep feeling of warmth radiating from your soul through your heavenly body. All right, so here's the ritual. We can if you feel inclined to take part in it as I'm reading it, feel free. Ritual: close your eyes and connect to your breath. Place one hand on your heart and feel its rhythm as it beats. Take a moment to notice any smells lingering around your space. If you can't smell anything particular, use your sense of inner smell to imagine one of your favorite scents, a favorite flower perhaps. Then take notice of what you hear around you. Maybe it's the wind outside your window. Now, feel the temperature of the air on your skin. From here, begin to touch your body in a way that feels good. Maybe touching your cheek gently, giving your shoulders a massage, or running your fingers lightly through your hair. Turn your lips upward in a natural smile and imagine the taste of honey in your mouth. Begin to imagine that this honey drips down from your mouth into your heart space and turns into a warm light glowing inside your heart. Imagine this light slowly radiating throughout your whole body. Notice how it feels. Be with this energy of sensual delight you have created for as long as you desire. When you are finished, move into your day with presence, allowing your heightened senses to guide you. So I absolutely love that. And the other thing that I really very much appreciate about this deck is the bigger guidebook that is separate, a separate purchase, of course. And this book is amazing, absolutely amazing. Like, I feel like it enhances the work that you would do with that you would do when introspection, when journaling, with the deck itself, but it adds another layer of exploration, if you will. So this one was sensual embodiment, and I think I'd gotten this card recently and previous in a reading I did for myself. Let me just find the okay. We have, okay, so this one is actually a fire card. This one is a fire card. So I'm just gonna read the a portion because it is a longer sort of read here. Hold on, chapter 7, 101. Okay. Okay, so chapter 7, fire. Fire holds the spiritual power of transformation. It holds our courage and offers us protection, purification, and profound spiritual healing. Fire is our passionate fuel that guides creativity. Fire can also carry sexual energy, anger, frustration, and the force that drives our ambitions. The element of fire can be used in your rituals when you need to transmute, purify, direct energy, activate, channel courage, or connect to your creative desires and passions. Our inner fire is our sacred fuel, our spiritual light that drives us into action, expressing our truth in passionate surrender. Fire and dancing have been intertwined elements of human experience on this earth for eons. Dancing around fire has been an integral ritual in human nature since the discovery of fire, practiced with intention all over the world. Movement tends to our inner fires and activates it in a sacred surrender. Dance and its flowing rhythms and emotional root have always been used as a powerful tool, activator, and expression of spiritual fire. So I'm going to stop there. In this, you'll also find that there is a dance ritual that you can do. Okay. Well, this is a safe space, and I do welcome all walks of life. So yes. Um, but anyways, um, getting back to that, this book, I absolutely love, and like I said, so here it even offers a dance ritual, and um, okay. um Basically offering you the opportunity to make a playlist of your favorite songs so you can get into your body and move. And I absolutely love that because I absolutely love dance. Um that is something that I do partake in regularly. It is something that I um I've grown up loving. I in my early years, I did partake in dance. I did ballet, jazz, and all of that. And so, yeah, so definitely a great way to move that fire energy through your body. And one of the things, too, that I wanted to touch on is the fact that I did, um, in, like I said, in a previous videos, if you haven't seen it, when I did talk about healthy anger, um, I did, I do have actually somatic meditation practices that I recommended, that you can definitely check out the links down in the description box, from my beautiful friend Stephanie. Her channel is Strength Discovered, and yes, it is definitely a pride friendly channel as well. So feel free to check her out as well. Um, what? Okay, I don't know where that one. Where is it? Also, so that was that one, and then we have Held by the Divine Mother, Receive. So I'm gonna read this one from the smaller guidebook, which is 31. Okay, here we go. Okay. 31, Held by the Divine Mother, Receive. Beautiful child, you are so deeply loved, held, and supported. You do not have to carry all the weight of life on your shoulders or move through life on your own. Your path has made you independent. When you allow yourself to be nourished, allow your needs to be met, you have more energy to give to the world in return. Have you been turning away help or even acknowledgement from others? Have you been afraid to receive more prosperity, love, or divine guidance? Trust that things can be more easeful when you let down your guard and open your heart to receiving more love and support. When you allow your desires to flow into your life without force and your needs to be met. Not only are there people in your life who are here, part of your soul family, with a soul contract to help you succeed and thrive, but your spirit team and the universe want nothing more than to support you fully as well. So much prosperity is ready to flow into your life, as are more people who can help you reach your goals. But your heart must be open for all to flow. Trust that you are held every step of your journey. Anchor into your heart and allow love to support you fully. Ritual. Sit with your spine and palms cupped at your chest like you are receiving a gift. Recite the following out loud. I open my heart to embrace all the love, support, and blessings that are wanting to flow into my life. I allow myself to be cared for in all ways. I trust that it is safe to receive. Imagine that rose petals are falling from the heavens and landing gently in your hands. As each petal lands, you hear a beautiful sound. The sound frequencies of the petals open and awaken your heart wider as each one falls into your hands, creating a harmony of heavenly tones. Rest in this energy for as long as it feels good. When you are finished, you may be inspired to book that massage you have been longing for or a session with a trusted healer. Call up a friend and ask for support. Take a day off to simply rest and read a good book, or do anything else your heart is guiding you toward to receive. You deserve it. Yes, and I absolutely love that too. And sometimes what I've also recognized as well, even more recently, even on my journey, is that, things and situations and people even come and go, and it's the way that those things sort of take place. It's also the universe's way of making room for things, better things, to come in and to make way. And even in the last little while, I've recognized that, having to be okay with letting things go, letting situations go, letting people go, and just allowing for the universe to, to recalibrate itself for me. So that is, that's been one thing. Now, even with these cards, I want to pull, because what I really love, and especially the fact that it is Thursday, and this is a deck that actually I do have on my channel as a pending giveaway. So once I reach 333 subscribers, I hope to, be able to offer and open that giveaway to 3 lucky subscribers who can win a copy of this deck. And this deck is the Thoughtful Journey Oracle deck by TJ Line. Artwork is by Carrie Slack. This is an indie deck. And it is such a beautiful deck. I have done a walkthrough of this deck on my channel. I've even done an interview with the beloved TJ, who is a dancer herself. So that's what I also love about how, these decks sort of play with one another that way. And this deck by TJ is just absolutely amazing. I love how the cards speak, even in relation with other decks, and also just the messages on their own, and even the additional message that comes from the guidebook. So yeah. So if you haven't seen that video and the interview that I did with TJ, the creator of this deck, Thoughtful Journey, and she also hosts on Instagram, and I have a link to her website in the description box with this deck. But she loves to draw cards every Thursday and calls it Thoughtful Thursday. So in honor of her and this deck, I'm going to pull a card for Thoughtful Thursday from her deck. So let's see here. What do God, Universe, Divine Mother, what do you have? Messages do you have for us today? Perspective. Oh, okay. All right. So we have the card that came flying out is, pardon me, is release. Now, I absolutely love this because with the full moon in Pisces coming up in just a few days. Today's the 4th, so that in about 3 days. And then so in about 3 days, we are about to have a full moon eclipse, also known as the blood moon. And of course, for those of you who know astrology and things like that, and the understanding, when a full moon hits, that's the time for releasing the old ways of thinking, the negative, anything that's negative that isn't serving our highest and greatest good. And that can even letting go of the situation and places and people that isn't serving our highest and greatest good any longer. It's about releasing, letting go, and especially with the fact that it is in Pisces. It's Pisces being not only the last sign of the zodiac, but also it's also a water sign, right, with the 2 fishes. So really letting go of all those karmic release of emotions that have plagued us for however long, letting go of all those negative emotions and things that aren't serving our highest and greatest good, that isn't serving the highest and greatest good of those around us, and of course for the collective, right? So release. So in this, releasing anger even, right? But in a healthy way. And how to do that? Well, one of the things, as we talked about, dance. Dance is a very beautiful way of being able to move and release that fire emotion, right? That we all have, right? That spark, get the creative juices flowing and those things, right? So we have sensual embodiment, we have release, right? And being held by the Divine Mother so that we can receive. Now, one last card, or one last deck that I wanted to pull from, and why I was so happy to be able to include this deck, is because, again, we're talking about unconditional love, talking about passion, and dance. And I love dance. I always have. And so even with the one thing that I guess I will quickly touch on is the understanding of this deck, this thoughtful journey, is that it's all arts and poses of dancers. And of course, the dancer that's featured on this card is none other than the artist herself. Well, not the artist, sorry, the creator herself, the creator of this deck. The artist, Carrie Black. That's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about TJ Line. This is her. She is in real life a dancer who dances on a Disney cruise and sails around the world. And one of the things, the beautiful things that she does, even on Thursdays with her Thoughtful Thursdays, is pulling a card from wherever she is currently docked. So you're getting to see these amazing views of nature behind her as she's pulling these cards. So it's beautiful. It's beautiful. But and of course, like I said, this is all her, but these are all pictures of her that the artist then adapted to create into the watercolor for the art for this deck. So I think that's really beautiful. But now the other deck that I found that I thought would pair wonderfully with this is because, again, with the theme of being, dance, is the Dancing in the Dark Tarot. So this is a Los Scarabeo publication, and of course distributed by Llewellyn in North America. But yeah, so I wanted to pull a card from this deck just to go in addition with the cards that we've already pulled. So let me do that. And it's weird. It's funny because this deck, when I pulled it out, funny enough, I don't know why, but the new whiff that sort of came out with that I was getting from the cards as I was shuffling it was chocolate, dark chocolate. Who knew paper could smell like that? I don't know why, but anyway, that's what came out. And even, of course, when you see, the borders of the deck, even the back of the card, it's got that sort of chocolatey kind of look to it, I feel. Anyway, so angels from this tarot deck. Do we have a collective today? All right. What do we have? Oh, wow. Okay. Wow, we got the moon card, y'all. The moon card. We have a Dalmatian on this card. So yes, I absolutely love that. And especially with, like I said, in 3 days, we're having a full moon eclipse in Pisces. That's on the 7th of September. And then 3 days later is my birthday. Woohoo! So I'm really excited because it just, the way it fits. And like I said, right now, as today being the 4th, as I'm filming this, doing this live, we have, in 3 days, we have the full moon in Pisces, which is, of course, Virgo's opposing sign, right? So releasing all of the negativity, the pain, the suffering that isn't serving our highest and greatest good, that is keep us disconnected from embodying and receiving unconditional love. that we are all entitled to, because we are all made from love, right? And so I absolutely love that the moon card fell out here to, to just sort of go along with everything that I've been talking about today, raising the frequency of the collective even for ourselves, right? Starting with self, of course, because it's an inward journey first before we can do it outward, to really fully understand and embody the true essence of love, and to be able to relay that effectively, unconditionally through others. We have to first be able to recognize that within ourselves. So, that's why, again, raising the frequency, raising our vibrations, is so important for the collective, for Mother Nature, for all of our existence. But taking the necessary time and reflection to do that introspection, to do that shadow work, and become fully aware of who we are as individuals, where we fall in that spectrum, because we are no better than anyone else, but we are also no less than anyone else, right? So it's having that full conscious understanding of what humility means. Plus, like I said, plus kindness. Not fake kindness, but really understanding kindness to its core, right? Doing the introspection, the internal reflection, that's the humility part, right? Then, now, combining that with kindness, which includes all the aspects of emotional intelligence, compassion, empathy, all of those things, right? That's the idea of kindness, and and understanding the law of karma, releasing all that doesn't serve us, right? And getting ready for the upcoming full moon. So that emotional release that is needed so that we can elevate our consciousness, be more in aligned with the higher frequencies. And remembering that the highest frequency for us as human beings to embody is unconditional love, the frequency of unconditional love. So that's what I have for you today. I want to thank you so much for those that stopped by and chat. For those of you that will be catching this playback, thank you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Comment down below what you thought of the video, and stay tuned for what I have next coming to offer. Don't forget that I do have a pending giveaway for when I hit 333 subscribers, and that is for the beautiful Thoughtful Journey deck by TJ Maline that I've used in this reading with the card of release. So, with all that being said, I love you all so much. As I always say, I am love, and so are you. As I see myself as human, I know you are too. So please always remember to take care of yourself and one another. And while you're at it, please don't forget about me too. Please like, share, and subscribe. I love you so much. And until we chat next time, always remember to check your privilege, mind your magic, and don't forget to always live, listen, and learn. Bye, everybody. Take care.